Fumbling around to make a cup of tea in the morning is never a good thing. Well, I have ideas to help you create a tea station that will make your mornings go more smoothly and that triples as a hospitality center for guests and as a self-care tool. You likely have all the basic supplies you need in your house right now, and it doesn't take a lot of room. So keep watching. Hi, I'm Michelle. Thanks for joining me today at Box Cottage, where I share useful, beautiful, and thrifty recipes and ideas like this one to help you create your own cozy cottage. I'm a functional nutritional therapy practitioner, longtime teacher of cooking and gardening skills, and a fan of all things homemade and practical. If this sounds interesting to you, subscribe and click that little bell, would you? Thank you. Well, I'm so glad you're here today because today's project is one I have been looking forward to sharing with you. It's fun, it's easy, it's adaptable to your needs and circumstances. So let's get started. But first, what is a tea station? A tea station is simply a place that holds your tea making essentials together, saving you time and steps in the morning. And not only in the morning, but any time of day that you need a cup of warm comfort to help you relax, slow down, and just breathe. As you might imagine, it also makes a perfect tool for expressing hospitality. You'll be ready to treat anyone who walks through your door or lives in your house to a special experience akin to visiting a sit-down coffee house in the comfort of your own home. Well, today we're going to walk through the 4 simple steps to creating your very own tea station and get you started enjoying the benefits of a more relaxing cup of tea in the morning or any time of day. Before we even begin, I encourage you to take this opportunity to think about what your body truly needs and use the ideas I'm about to share as a tool for positive change. So let's say you'd like to incorporate green or herbal tea into your day and reap their health benefits. I'm going to reference tea because that's what I drink, but everything we're talking about today applies to your beverage of choice, whether that's tea or coffee or homemade bone broth or something else. Well, except soda. Decide to give your body what it needs in the morning. So step 1 is to pull out all the supplies that you use. Take out everything that you use to make your cup of tea in the morning. You probably have start with a tea kettle. I've got a stovetop tea kettle that lives on my stove full time. You may have an electric tea kettle, a coffee pot, or a French press. You probably have a jumble of tea boxes and tins, a tea strainer, some local honey. Certainly you have a favorite mug or cup and saucer, right? Well, pull all these things together and take a look at what you actually use on a daily basis. That's step 1. Step 2 is to pick a spot. So do you have a kitchen drawer or a cupboard that you can empty out and repurpose as a tea station? Do you have a hutch that is filled with items that you display but don't really use? Take a look around your kitchen with fresh eyes. I can almost promise you have something you can use to create your tea station. Perhaps a craft cart or utility cart, such as one you might find at a craft shop or purchase secondhand, might be your answer. Wheels add mobility, and the shelves can accommodate all the items that you need to use regularly. Just add baskets or other small containers to organize it. And speaking of baskets, what about using a basket to create a tea station? Baskets are great for organizing small items. You can pull out a few envelopes of a variety of teas and line them up like this. Then you can see what you have. So much easier than rooting through a pile of tea boxes and tins in the back of a cupboard somewhere. Or maybe you have a platter that you could use for a tea station, or even something like this would work for whatever supplies that you have and use regularly. Or maybe you're like me. My current kitchen has an odd corner on the counter that doesn't do anything except collect junk and shadows because it's dark back there. Well, A tray or a turntable can transform an odd spot into a beverage nook. I looked online and in stores for a 2-tier turntable. Say that 10 times really fast. A 2-tier turntable. And I came up empty-handed. I could not find what I was looking for. You might have better luck. I would recommend checking thrift stores and secondhand furniture shops for something like this. I ended up placing a cake plate on a turntable. See? And it's perfect. We hardly ever have cake in the house, so this doesn't get used very often, and making it a part of my tea station gives use to an item that otherwise would be taking up valuable storage space. I can still pull it out and use it as a cake plate when needed, so it works for my situation. I guarantee there's something that'll work for yours too. Step 3, containerize and arrange. This is where you get to do a little creative puttering. Make things nice for yourself. For example, instead of a sticky, messy jar of honey, how about filling a squeeze bottle? You'll get just the right amount and no drips. Have I mentioned the wisdom of keeping containers that you can use later? You might even find yourself evaluating your purchases based on the reusability of the container like I do. I learned this from my mom. You can remove the label from most any jar or container, tuck it away in a basket or a box, and then later you have it ready for projects like this one. If you use loose teas and herbs, you will want to transfer them from the packaging they came in to jars for storage and label them. Practical label, masking tape and a Sharpie. Gets the job done. Mid-range label, label printer. I happen to be studying herbs, so I make up these information cards and attach them to my jars of herbs. Whenever I need to use an herb, I pull out the jar and I read the card, and basically I'm tricking myself into studying. Jars like these are great. Instead of making a mess, spilling loose herbs and teas all over, everything is neat and tidy, and the quality of your herbs will remain stronger for so much longer than if you just keep them in the bulk baggies or the brown paper packaging that they came in. But whatever kind of label you use something. We've reached step 4, and that is make it pretty. What little extras can you add to your tea station to make it special for you to use and for your friends and family? Let's look at my tea carousel for ideas. Got some black tea leaves here in a candle jar, some matcha tea powder. This is a blend of ground spices for chai that I mix with the black tea. Here is a homemade hot cocoa mix, delicious, and carob cocoa mix. I'll link the videos for both of these recipes in the iCards above and in the description box below. Here is a mixture of some of my favorite herbs. I call it Summer Dreams because the flavors remind me of summer, which makes me happy. Great for relieving stress. Got some cloth napkins here, a jar with some spoons for stirring and a tea strainer. Here's the honey squeeze bottle, and I've got another sweetener down here, some coconut sugar. And on the back side here, I've got several pretty mugs or teacups. The top has a teapot and a tea ball, the saucers that go with the mugs. And I've got everything I need at my fingertips to make a cup of tea in the morning or to enjoy with family and friends. And you will too after you make your own tea station. Now your tea station might look very different from mine, and that's okay. Depending on places that I've lived over the years, my tea station has taken many different forms. When I was a single working mama of 4 small children, we lived in a place we affectionately called the Little House, and I dedicated a drawer in my kitchen to tea things. That felt special. It felt luxurious to us. Years later, I used a credenza as a combination coffee and tea bar. It had my husband's coffee pot, my son's cocoa latte machine, an electric frother, and a lot of tea, and then the side cupboards were filled with mugs. This worked really well for a family, especially with teenagers. My girls would have their friends over often after school. They would have tea and they could talk over their day. I think they worked through a lot of the agonies of high school over cups of tea. I tell you all these stories to tell you this. Make this concept work for you. Take a few minutes and create your tea station. You'll be so glad you did. I also want to mention, if you're looking for high quality teas, oftentimes you need look no further than your local farmer's market. But if it's the off season and your farmer's market is shuttered for the winter, may I recommend Farmhouse Teas? Farmhouse Teas is a lovely family-owned company here in Oregon. The owner, Cian, takes great care to grow and source ingredients for her teas. She has a wide range of flavors to suit anyone's palate, and she has some fun seasonal specialties that change seasonally. You'll want to check it out. I'll put a link to Farmhouse Teas in the description box below. And if you're interested in taking it further and learning about blending your own teas, I highly recommend her online course. It's called Medicinal Teas in Small Spaces. I'm currently taking it and having so much fun with it. I'm also enjoying this book called Growing Your Own Tea Garden by Jody Helmer. It starts out with history of tea and goes into best ways to brew tea depending on the color, the white, green, or black tea leaves. And then this huge section in the middle is all different kinds of plants that you can grow or forage to make your own homemade teas. It's got lots of photographs and includes information on the benefits of various plants. It is a joy to read. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Homesteading Family for directing lots of new subscribers to my channel. Thank you, Josh and Carolyn. If by chance you haven't heard of Homesteading Family, you'll want to jump over and visit their channel. It is filled with practical advice, whether you live in the country on an actual homestead, or you live in town in an apartment or a subdivision and you're making the best of what you have, homesteading in place. Well, thank you for joining me today in Chocolate Box Cottage. It's been a pleasure as always. Goodbye and God bless.